In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to really abuse the Darkness Devil Sight combo. This once romanticized and overhyped combo kind of fell out of favor once people realized just how many scenarios it wasn't effective in, or even downright detrimental in. But we're bringing it back, baby, and it's going to be better than it has ever been before. This is the Shadow of the Deep. Let's talk about our goals and limitations with this build. We want to, of course, take the Darkness Sight and create darkness ourselves and abuse it, but the limitation we really need to have is that we don't want to influence our teammates negatively. So no matter what I'm doing with this build, I always want to be aware of our teammates. Now let's break it down, starting with the Lineage. I went with Half-Elf, the Drow magic variant specifically. I did this for several different reasons. Reason number one is Half-Elves have arguably the best stat array in the entire game. Getting +2, +1, +1 is fantastic. This really sets us up to take half feats in the future, as well as be powerful right out the gate. The second reason is we have fantastic synergy with Drow spellcasting. We'll get more into that later. The cherry on top of all of this is that we have dark vision, resistance to the charmed condition, are immune to magical sleep. Damn, half-elves are just stacked. As for our stats, charisma is our primary. Try and make this odd, because we do want to pick up a half feat later. Our secondary is constitution. This is great for our survivability and our concentration checks. And then we have dexterity as our tertiary, just to try and give us as much AC as possible. Anything left over put into wisdom for those saves. As for our leveling structure, we're going to be going 20 levels into Fathomless Warlock. Now keep in mind that the core idea behind this build is Devil Sight with darkness, but that really isn't going to come online for this build until level 5. But before then, we have to discuss levels 1 through 4. Our primary strategy, surprising all of you I'm sure, is Eldritch Blast spamming. And speaking of spam, if you'd like to join our Patreon, it has awesome benefits, go ahead and check it out. But we make a better than normal Eldritch Blast spammer than you would expect. Why? Well, first and foremost is that we have the Tentacle of the Deep. This combines with Hex so that we can proc that extra d6 of damage more often than anybody else can. And since we were using Hex and Eldritch Blast anyways, it just fits in like perfection. Not only that, we also have Fairy Fire from Drow magic. This is really important, especially for a Warlock. Warlocks only have 2 packed slots. Fairy Fire is a fight-winning spell. Having an extra fight-winning spell a day is huge, more so for Warlocks than anyone. And Fairy Fire has great synergy with both Eldritch Blast, making it more consistent, as well as our Tentacle of the Deep, making it more consistent as well. Now, on top of that, I'm going to be taking the Invocation's Agonizing Blast for damage, but also the Lance of Lethargy. This is going to reduce one enemy hit by us per turn's movement speed by 10 feet. The Tentacle of the Deep does the exact same thing, so throughout our whole career, we are going to minor in control, slowing down enemies and keeping them away from us or our teammates. Fantastic synergy all around. Now at level 4, we're going to pick up Elven Accuracy, rounding out our charisma. This is going to synergize perfectly with Fairy Fire, giving us that super advantage, but the real reason we're taking Elven Accuracy doesn't come online until we get cooking at level 5. Level 5 is where this build truly comes together. Couple things happen here. Thing number one is this is where we pick up Devil Sight. Now we also get darkness from Drow magic at this level, and I promised you that this was going to be the best magical darkness Devil Sight build, and it has nothing to do with darkness. It has everything to do with Summon Fae, the Trixie variant. Now what the Trixie variant does is whenever it uses its Fae step and it teleports, anywhere it teleports to, within 5 feet of them, they can create a 5-foot cube of darkness. This 5-foot cube of darkness gives the same benefits as a bigger darkness does. We are going to be attacked at disadvantage, no one can target us with spells that require us to be seen, and it's going to give us advantage, super advantage on every single attack. The only real weakness we have while we're in this darkness is if somebody is shooting AoE attacks at our darkness. We don't have fantastic dex saves, nor do we have fantastic HP, nor do we have particularly fantastic concentration saves, so consistently AoE damage is our weakness. On top of that, we're not just creating darkness, we're also creating a Fae, and don't underestimate how much damage one of these Fae can put out. It can put out some real damage. So what our turn might look like is action, Summon Fae, bonus action, Tentacle of the Deep. Then our Fae goes, it's going to go do its attack, teleport next to us, give us darkness, and then it might move behind the darkness. It's going to try and find some sort of defense or cover, and it can actually use its own darkness to break line of sight from the biggest threat, potentially protecting it. On our next turn, we get to attack with super advantage. This includes our Tentacle. Then we can reposition, and then our Fae can go make its attacks and then teleport next to us, rinse and repeat over and over and over again. So we have really high consistent damage output. We are so consistent. We are rarely going to miss with that super advantage. Not only that, we're coming in with a lot of attacks. At level 5, we're coming in with 3 of our own attacks, 1 with our Fae. At level 7, our Fae picks up another attack. At level 11, our Eldritch Blast gets another attack. So we are doing a ton of attacks. 6 at 11, 5 at 7, 4 at 5. Fantastic. So we may not be doing tons and tons of burst damage, but we are consistent with our damage, extremely consistent. But I want to talk about a little bit of nuance here, a couple of other ideas just to think about. So it would behoove us to collect a magical short sword that doesn't require attunement, something like a +1 weapon maybe. That way we can use our free item interaction to give it to our Fae, so now they can do magic damage to our enemies, and possibly other benefits along with. Another note here is that Fairy Fire remains an excellent fight-winning option for fights that are less important, or if we've ran out of spell slots. I really love how much value we can get out of the Drow's Fairy Fire as a Warlock. Can't emphasize it enough. And also a hot take on the normal Darkness Devil Sight combo is it's not bad. It's not meant for every combat. As long as your whole character isn't built around it, it is the answer to some combats. So it's nice to have in our back pocket for, say, if there's a really wide open battlefield, we can cast Darkness on ourselves, saving our Summon Fae, saving our pack slots, and still be able to be extremely effective. Similar to Fairy Fire, it can be an extra fight-winning spell that Warlocks are really going to appreciate. So what we've put together here is a character who has extremely consistent damage output, and with so many attacks, that damage output gets really, really high. I'm thinking level 11, when you have those 6 attacks, it's going to be significant. On top of that, because we're in darkness, we can't be targeted by a significant number of spells, and we're going to be attacked at disadvantage. We also come with our natural wisdom save proficiency, so our defenses are great. On top of that, we're not a one-trick pony. We have options for when we're in a weaker fight, or if we've ran out of resources, we can go ahead and implement our drow magic. So overall, I really like how this character comes together, and it feels like a well-balanced character. I want to give a shout out to one of our Patreons, Jonathan S. Jonathan S is the man. Thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate you. The video style I'm doing is going to move more into a focus on taking concepts and growing them into builds. So what I would really love to hear from you guys is really cool concepts. And this could be as simple as multi-class this with this, or it can be as complex as do a dart build that tries to do acrobatics at the same time and is a gymnast. So whatever your concept is, it can be simple or complex, but I want to hear it from you. Let me know in the comments down below. I want to thank you all for watching. If you made it to this point, you're our type of people, and you probably have friends that are our type of people too. Consider sending this over to them. Thanks a bunch, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you then.